Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Midnight Horror Picture Show. Today's guest should need no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. Lloyd Kaufman is the president of Troma Entertainment, Inc., the creator of the Toxic Avenger, and your favorite director's favorite director. For over 53 years, Troma Entertainment has been the longest-running independent movie studio in history. And if you ask any member of their team, Troma, translated from Latin, means excellence in celluloid. Lloyd has championed many indie directors, actors, and even production assistants over the years and continues to pass the torch to the new age of filmmakers. Some notable Troma alum include James Gunn, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, Eli Roth, Samuel L. Jackson, Marissa Tomei, and Vincent D'Onofrio, just to name a few. To thine own self be true is not only a mantra, but a way of life in Tromaville. Lloyd has directed classics such as The Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High, and Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD, and is still making films all these years later with his upcoming film, The Power of Positive Murder. Chatting with Lloyd was an absolute treat, and the man has a ton of stories to share. So please enjoy my interview with Lloyd Kaufman.
What got you interested in Troma to begin with?
Oh,
everybody sees our movies.
I grew up going to video stores when those were still a thing constantly, and I think I picked up The Toxic Avenger in my early teens for the first time. And then as, filmmaking became something I knew I wanted to pursue in some form, I mean, you literally, and we'll get to this in the interview for sure, but you literally wrote the book, or the books in your case, on, being an independent filmmaker and really trying to pave your own way in the industry. I've been a fan since I was a teenager of Troma's work and tried to catch anything I could that Troma produced.
Are you making a film now?
I am editing. I'm editing a short right now. And working on a script for a feature.
I only say this out of selfishness because I want a cameo, and I work for food.
I work for food. Lloyd,
monster drink. That's usually what we get. So,
well, you know what?
We've got a green screen. If you or any of your listeners want a sad old man, I play doctors and masturbators. I think those are my two.
Well, I mean,
I've done 2 gigs in the subway masturbating. The one from got paid for one of them, but that was a bum who was sleeping. To get deposits.
Well, I know. Didn't you play a doctor in Orgazmo?
I sure did.
You did,
and I improvised whatever that line is. I improvised it. And here's an interesting factoid. Which would be good for students. When I film, I try to film in sequence, which you cannot do on a Screen Actors Guild movie unless you have a shitload of money. Because if you use somebody Monday and then you use them Thursday, you got to pay them for the intervening days. So with the new people, the young people, and the people who look like real people rather than stars, we all agree 3 months ahead of time. We're 7 days a week, and throughout until we finish shooting, and should be in our head 7 days a week, and so we have the luxury of filming in sequence. And Trey Parker with Orgazmo, he told me he's filming the end of the movie on the first day, so the distributors can't cut it out or make them change the script, and that it would set up the sequel for Orgazmo 2, which considering it's about porno. Well, today, I guess porno's back. HBO has hardcore porno, and they've got a whole new documentary about a porno star with Al Goldstein's Ed McMahon sort of. At any rate, Trey began first day shooting the end, and I thought that was really incredible because I never kind of really know how my films are going to, or how our films are going to end. It's even though we have months, several months of casting and pre-production, I
Right.
can really see see my way to the end until I kind of get there.
That seems like a lesson he probably learned from working with Troma, though, right? Because if he is working on Orgazmo and like doesn't want to get something cut from the film, to do that first and be like, well, now they can't change it because we did it on the first day of filming. They're not going to pay for me to go back and reshoot it. So,
Well, hopefully this is being recorded because
yes.
I'm sober, and it's probably the best interview I've ever done. But no, as Eli Roth says in one of my books, and in my Make Your Own Damn Movie DVD package, get on sets, and talk to the people. And if you see a good director, try to be a booth boy for him, or booth person. Sorry, I wasn't Mog. Booth person. Kiss their ass and attach yourself, which I did with John G. Avildsen, who took me on to Rocky. I'm in Rocky, and I got thanked at the Academy Awards, and I was a stupid 28-year-old. But he told me that he shoots in sequence, and how cool is that? Because then you can write and rewrite, and if an actor's a goofball, you can downsize the part or kick that person out. And we did have to fire the Toxic Avenger one on Toxic Avenger Part 2. We had to fire the guy. He was
Wow.
trying to be a big shot, he was also a muscle man, and he was very good in the movie, in what we filmed. But I had to fire him in the middle of production, and he's
Wow.
great when you see the film. And also, he's in Mr. Melvin. He's terrific,
Right.
but a little too much of a star, and he treated. What are the people starring on movies are basically, most of them, they're waiters or students or service flipping fries in Burger King.
Right. Well, for a lot of people, I mean,
Everybody's equal. Everybody is an actor person. That's an actor person. And we don't say anything. We don't use the word extra. No.
yeah. Well, and that's the whole thing. I mean, Troma has launched so many big careers, right? I mean, we talked about Matt Parker and Trey Stone, obviously James Gunn, who has gone on to make a couple films since working with Troma.
Wait a minute, not only Matt Stone, but Oliver Stone.
Really?
Yeah, he never even thought about making movies till I kind of attracted him.
Really?
Yeah, we grew up together. And
Wow.
when at Yale, he thought he was going to be a novelist. He was going to be Lord Byron, well, not Lord Byron, but no, who was the other guy? Crap, James Joyce. Yeah, James Joyce or something. And he wrote a book when we were at Yale, and it was unreadable. And my father read it too. It's stunk. But then I was making movies at Yale, and Oliver hung out, and then he was in my first slightly watchable film, and he helped produce Sugar Cookies, which is pretty decent. It's on Troma now, our streaming service.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And for
Oliver's in at least one or two of our films, and then he just as we parted ways, he he wrote Midnight Express and became huge.
right.
I've got a good large nose, for unfortunately large, for knowing what talent is. That's my talent. I know talent. But whether I have talent, not so sure, but I love movies and making them. And Michael Hers, my partner of 53 years, he loves movies. And he's really the boss. He runs the company.
Well, I mean, the proof is in the pudding there, right? I mean, you clearly have an eye, nose.
The proof is in the diarrhea or the
Fair.
vegetation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Here, can't find it. I got another book that's come out. Yeah, look at this. Just so you know, this is very good. I didn't do it, but Matt Klickstein spent 5 years on this, and it's Lloyd Kaufman interviews, and it's from around 1970 something through the present.
Oh,
and
wow.
Gives you pretty good. It's Mississippi, University of Mississippi Press. We always run, do business with the slave states, but they're good people. And Jackson, Mississippi, where I went to a book tour, is a real bubble of artists, of left wing, democratic, truly democratic, center left. It's a real place. It's not like the Alabama prison system or whatever.
Right. Which
a colony, it's not a colony like Alabama. Although Huntsville, Alabama was pretty cool too, because that's also a bubble of scientists. And they were all very excited about my daughter's film, not Occupy Can, that's another daughter. The Alabama Solution, which was nominated for an Oscar, and it's on Hateful, HBO, Warner Brothers. Hateful.
Yeah, I caught that on Max a couple weeks ago, which
great.
Yeah.
Texas, right?
No, I'm Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, did we meet? Didn't we meet in Texas or no?
No, I met you at Troma Fest in New York.
Oh, great. TromaDance.
TromaDance. Yeah.
By the way, this year's the 28th annual TromaDance, all free. Submit your movies for free. And the deadline's coming up. I think it's in middle of July. So there's not much. No, July 21st. TromaDance Film Festival. You can find it on Freeway. But it's all free to submit. You can see the movies for free and no VIP policy.
Right.
And it takes place this year in the Pine Box, which is a big place in Brooklyn that used to be a manufacturer of coffins, hence the name Pine Box. But it's an enormous place, great screening facilities, and it's all free. Entry is free, and it takes place this year at over Labor Day weekend. I think it goes to 3 days.
That's it did the same kind of Labor Day weekend run in 2024, the last time I was there, when it was at the Lucky 13 Saloon.
Yeah, TromaDance. That's right, Lucky 13. They're great. We still have events there. They're wonderful people.
Yep, I was there for that year, and then I believe the year before when it was at Beauty Bar.
Yeah, good. Well, now we have Troma Tuesdays at Beauty Bar, and there's one next week, New York in the Chelsea area.
Right.
Probably isn't going to air in time, but anyway, Father's Day is a good movie, and nobody's seen it. It's on Troma now. It's terrific. It's made by a group of Canadians in Winnipeg, and we shot there, and it's very cold. I play both God and Satan. That's a spoiler unalert.
I love that. All right. Well, I'm going to have to pull up Troma now and check that out after we get off of this interview. So, Lloyd, I mean, you are the godfather of independent cinema.
That was kind of chauvinistic. I could be the godmother, too.
You could.
Hashtag Shakespeare shitstorm. You can see proof of that.
That is absolutely fair. And you know what? I digress. But that being said, the way you've positioned yourself as a filmmaker, as a producer, and the way you've positioned Troma over the years as kind of the anti-studio, right?
Socialist, left wing, very left wing, although it's really not true. We're totally benign. But we do hate Trump. At least I hate Trump. I don't know if I can speak for all of the one people, two people, three, maybe 10 people. But I think we lean toward hating Trump.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So you're in good company. But with that, though, with Troma being, this kind of punk rock anti-studio, where have you seen independent film start to shift? What kind of like trends have you noticed, and where do you think independent cinema is headed in this moment?
My career has seen the gradual smothering of the independent artist. And there are thousands of independent artists creating. It hasn't smothered them from the point of view of creating, but smothered them in the point of view of earning a living and having a place to live and sending their kids to school, because they've eliminated all the independent studios of any longevity. Now, every so often, a billionaire supermarket person comes along and buys the 20th Century Fox and New Blood, but it doesn't work. And then, so the solution of the majors is to consolidate and to censor the little guys, like the MPAA censor board, which will let Bruce Willis movie have all sorts of realistic looking blood and guts and whatever. But Troma's War was totally emasculated. Pedro Almodovar with the very mediocre Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down, which I didn't have one boner, but it's pornographic. It's got a full frontal nudity in 1989. It's got a little plastic toy going up a woman's genitalia. And you can see it. It's like a close-up. And meanwhile, our movies were butchered by the MPAA, which meant they couldn't get into theaters. So the majors, with the help of the government and the labor leaders, have killed off the independents, at least the serious independents, the longevity independents. When I broke in, there may have been 30 little studios like Roger Corman and Troma and Dimension, and there were bunches of them, and they were making a good living, employing thousands of people. No, not paying them Screen Actors Guild rates. No, they didn't have 3 hot meals a day, perhaps. Maybe they had pizza, but they were working and creating and enjoying their life. And unfortunately, and now with this Trump guy, all the celebrities are scared shit. They've all got their mouths shut. They're all like, I don't know. You got Stephen King out there. He's doing it, and a few others. But most of them are like this way. Let it wash over, right?
Right.
Right. Just like every autocratic state, until they come and drag them away. And yes, you say Troma's punk. I'm as fucking bourgeois as you can get. I speak French, which is a dead language. I went to Yale. I'm sitting here, in a bourgeois house. My wife was a commissioner, film commissioner for New York State during 4 different governors, Republican and Democrat. But how did the Russian Revolution start? It was middle class. The French Revolution. How did that? Didn't turn out too well for them. But the middle class is what started it, and all those racist American revolutionaries and the ones who helped genocide and keep people slaves, they were middle class, they were bourgeois. So I'm bourgeois, but I'm trying to light a little fire in the world of independent art. And if you see all of our films, every one of them, I carry promotion. Here, this one's the one that stuck my behind. Toxie for president from 1924, you see.
Love it. That's awesome.
We see ourselves as trying to create, an artistic spark, and to be satisfied. There are thousands of people around the world making their own Troma movies. They're making their own damn movies in the Troma school of filmmaking, mixing all the genres and dealing with politics where they don't get tortured but so we have a pretty big footprint on the landscape of art. The problem is we have to get this great art to the people, and the Cannes Film Festival has changed. So that's the problem. All of the encouragements, the festivals, too many of them are corporate labor bureaucratic clubs. And Cannes Festival is, I've been there for 51 years and I stopped going because, well, you can see Occupy Cannes. It's doing the festival circuit by Lily Hayes Kaufman. I could send you a link if you remind me.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
it's terrific, and it's doing it. It's going to open. It'll have Blu-rays, and on the Blu-ray it'll probably be doubled with All the Love You Can. But Troma ended up putting a fair amount of money into Occupy Cannes. It started as a very small idea on Indiegogo, just to see if we had fans who wanted that film.
Yeah.
And indeed they did. And then Troma filled up put in most of the budget. So it's a lot of fun, and yet it's very bittersweet, and it makes a statement about the lack of diverse voices, you know.
Fair, absolutely.
Women are still second-class citizens. Little brown ladies are still cleaning my bathroom in the motel. I don't let them do it, and I still tip them properly because I don't like that. My grandmother was a real socialist, major socialist. So she put a lot of ideas in my head.
Sure. Well, that's a really good jumping off point from bringing up the Indiegogo, because with the changing landscape, I'd say, especially in the past 5-10 years of financing a film, and obviously, like we've said, you wrote, make your own damn movie, direct your own damn movie, finance your own damn movie, right? With that, though, in the rise of, in the last 10 years, of like crowdfunding platforms or like direct to consumer sales and stuff like that, different distribution models that people are trying to take to avoid the theatrical route because of all of the consolidations you've just talked about. The last episode I recorded, actually, I was talking with my guests about that very thing, about how...
Who was your guest?
It was writer David Stevie and Nathan Basil, who was the actor who starred in Behind the Mask, and David Stevie's the writer of that film, and they just did a Kickstarter for a sequel to it 20 years later. But I was just talking to them about how 20 years ago, when they got a limited theatrical run with that film, there were so many like independent horror distributors. And especially like in the days before streaming overtook everything, but in the days of the video store, you had production companies that were specific for straight to DVD, and that market's gone, right? With Redbox being gone now, you know, all of those films, like, they'll get dropped on a streaming service somewhere, but it's not going to do the same deals, and you're not going to like do the same numbers of viewers or connect with audiences in the same way as, you know, having your product on a shelf.
Economic blacklisting. It's the labor, bureaucratic, and corporate elite, and they conspire to suck dry the little people of Tromaville of their economic and spiritual capital. And they've done a very good job. Look at America. We've never been more depressed. The whole fucking country is depressed. My film that I'm finishing up, Troma, it's a Troma team production. Power of Positive Murder. It's all about the malaise of young people. You know, they think they're educated. They think what are they going to do? What are they going to do? What kind of world is presented? And job market. You know, what are they going to? You know, AI, all that stuff.
Right.
It's a Crime and Punishment. Basically, they're Raskolnikov in Crime and Punishment, and that's what I was inspired by.
Right, and
it's a Troma movie. It's inspired by Crime and Punishment. I was the only person out of 80 people living together for 2 months on set who actually had read the book, I think. You'll be able to see it when you see the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Acting is superb, though. Really good actors. A lot of our Troma stars, Debbie Rochon and Lisa Gay and Zach Amico and you know, people who've been in films for many years. Caleb Emerson, who starred in Poultrygeist and with Troma for a long time, and a new star, a new emerging star, Adam Pelletier, who plays the main part. He was in West Point, no less, and then honorably discharged and decided he didn't want to go to Iran, and he decided to make a Troma movie. Pretty cool.
Wow. Wow. Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
going to war, being on it, making a Troma movie is like planning a battle. You got to have bathrooms and food, and you don't just send the soldiers out. You have to prepare them. And that was Coppola's problem with Megalopolis. He didn't have any pre-production time. 150 million bucks. It's the movie. I'm sure is brilliant. I haven't seen it. He's brilliant. Anything Coppola does is great. But how you get your vision across if you don't have pre-production?
Right, right. No, absolutely. So with The Power of Positive Murder, that's like, from everything I've heard so far, that's more of like a noir, the way you're doing the storytelling or the way you filmed it, right?
Yes, noir. Yeah, you're right. It's supposed to be a noir. Yes, you're absolutely right, Neil. All my life, most of the films that inspired me are quite noir. Fritz Lang and all that, so I've got a pretty good knowledge of noir and more. And so I tried, and just to make sure we wouldn't make money, we shot it in black and white, just in case the movie might have been profitable.
Just in case it might have been profitable. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, no, I'm very excited to see it. I mean, obviously, listeners of our show know Sabrina. We had Sabrina on as one of our first interviews, and she's a delight. But she was talking about editing The Power of Positive Murder.
Great. Oh, good.
So everybody is very excited for that. Do you have anything in terms of a release planned?
What? Release? What are you talking? Release date? You're crazy, man. Yeah, we don't. Nobody wants our movies. We take as long as we fucking want.
That's fair.
And then we go around and I play Willie Loman from Death of a Salesman. I go theater by theater, or hoping that, depending on fans and the kindness of strangers. Fans book our movies. Fans put me up. Fans get the theaters to pay us. Fans get conventions to give me a mediocre couple of crumbs as a fee. It's I think the historic thing about Troma and the interesting aspect and why people have written books is because it's all fan fueled. I don't know that there's ever been a studio lasting 10 years, much less 53 years. All fans. James Gunn came on because he was a fan. Eli Roth fan. The people that were attracted, who ended up either contributing films or working on our films. Gabe Friedman, Trent Hager, they're all Vincent D'Onofrio. They were all fans and just kind of looked at our social or at casting notices and signed up. Or crew, being on the set. They want to inhale the aroma du Troma.
I love that. I think it was in Direct Your Own Damn Movie, but you talked about how you've always been easy to contact, right? You've been easy to get in touch with, and that your whole thing has been, hey, if you want to work with us, if you want to come out, like you're interested in being a part of Troma in some aspect, let's make that work then. If you can find your way out to New York for our shoot in a couple months, we'll have a spot for you on the crew, whether that be a PA or whatever it is. And I think that approach, in the book it's referred to as, I think it's called Huck Finning for PAs, having that openness to bring anyone who's invested.
They gotta have something on the bowl, but we do have Sabrina, for example, came on Troma like 3.5 years ago as Enterprise Observer, which is observer, and then she did a little editing, and then she did this, and then she did that, and then before she knew it, she's producer, main supervising editor, and should probably get a writer's credit. So there you
Wow.
go.
Yeah, I mean that's fantastic. And
I think she's in the film too. I think she's.
oh, is she?
I'm not sure, but I maybe not. You probably have to look for her. But.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Meteoric Rise, and Andrew Miller, who produced Mr. Melvin, which is an interesting Toxic Avenger Part 5, Part 6, whatever, however you want to call it.
Right.
He also started as simple production assistant, and the first thing, driving a big passenger van, and he learned that you honk once to go forward, and twice to go backwards, and that safety to humans is Troma's most important production rule, and it's written on all the walls and bathrooms all over the country, and on all the trucks and whatever we have in the on set and in our office. And people can start in our office, and then if a movie occurs, can work on that film, move out to the film. So there's all ways to do it. But again, we're a tiny little company, and we're barely in business. Trying to stay in business. And again, it's thanks to our fans. It is 100% thanks to our fans, really. And Stan Lee, who was friends with me for at least 50 years, and he stayed with the fans always and listened to them. And John G. Avildsen, who was my mentor, he made Joe and Cry Uncle, he turned, and Joe also, he turned shit into gold. And Cry Uncle is hilarious. It's on Troma now. And from there, Avildsen got Rocky. And he had Troma. They didn't have money to film in Philadelphia. The producers planned to fake Los Angeles for Philadelphia. So Avildsen had me line produce the Philadelphia stuff and use Cry Uncle crew, non-union, and we made 8 days like a Troma film. Pizza, there's a behind the scenes that I shot about 2 hours of Super 8 film behind the scenes on the Philadelphia Rocky. And Avildsen, years later, Avildsen, the director, and I cut it down, and we recorded a narration. Oh no, the director cut it down to 20 minutes. And then we wrote and recorded narration, he and I, and it's on the Rocky box of all the Rockies. At least.
Oh, really?
That was about 2 years, 3 years ago. No, that was longer. It was longer ago. But at any rate,
I was going to say for
the Rocky thing, I learned a lot on all this stuff. And then, Avildsen was supposed to direct Saturday Night Fever, and he took me on to that, and I've got a big credit on that. So he was a big influence. And then Roger Corman, obviously, who's not just the films but also a friend for half a century, stayed in this very house, in this very place. In fact, one of our actor persons, Jesse, is staying upstairs, guest, because we've been filming, and it's still Tromaville. And she's staying in the very bed that Roger Corman slept. It was my daughter's, one of my daughter's beds prior to that, but the sheets have been changed.
Well, good. Thank goodness for that. So we
changed my daughter's sheets. We got rid of those, but I asked to preserve Roger Corman sheets. Yeah. Any kid that comes to my house sleeps in Roger Corman sheets.
There you go.
No, that's not true.
Get them laminated and just So it's really interesting how you talk about that the fans of Troma are really not only what has kept it going and like brought it the longevity that it clearly has, right? But it's also, like you talked about, how it's the fans of Troma that get Troma films into theaters. It's the push of the fans, and you listening to your fans. You've nurtured that relationship so much, and I don't think there's any like halfway Troma fans, right? Like there's nobody who's like, Troma's like okay. It's either I've never heard of Troma, I don't like Troma, which I've never met anyone, or like all in, right? But it's usually
here's the thing. Here we get a lot of people are jealous of us. So there's like, oh, you have the best titles, or blah blah blah. Your interview is great, but they start off with, tell us a little bit about yourself. Fuck you. Tell me about your fucking self. And so there's that aspect to it. I really appreciate your you even knew titles of my books. Nobody even knows that I've written books, which I haven't written. James Gunn wrote the first book that I wrote, and Trent Hager and Adam, whatever his name is, wrote the second book that I wrote, and so on down the line.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got two of them right here. So I got Direct Your Own Damn and Make Your Own Damn. So
well, I worked with the writers, and I helped them make them funny, and they're inspirational. Probably outdated, but they're a lot of fun to read, at least.
They're so much fun to read. I mean, I was laughing even in the first like couple pages of Direct Your Own Damn Film, and like it speaks so much to the Troma approach to filmmaking, right? Which is, it's not that serious. Don't take yourself so seriously. We're here because we like creating, and like if we're doing this with no budget, everyone who's there is doing this for the passion of it, right?
And also understands that the script is very political, and that we're like Citizen Toxie. We had school shooting. Now every other movie has got the schools, the PTSD of schools, and they get great reviews, and they're in the theaters, and they got stars. And meanwhile, we did the school shooting in 1990. In 2001, we had it out, and we also had dealt with abortion, and fearful that would get regulated. A Citizen Toxic, by the way, James Gunn has an amazing cameo in that movie. But it's everything, and it's a woman's film. And get this, I was on a book tour. It's not. I had a few little book tours, nothing glamorous, but the fans kept asking, what would happen if Sergeant Kabuki Man and the Toxic Avenger had a fight? Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD being the hero of Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. Well, thanks to the genius of Trent Hager, who wrote Citizen Toxie on his honeymoon, he put in a doppelganger situation where good Toxie goes into a universe where bad Toxie goes into Tromaville. So in the bad universe, in the bad Tromaville, which is called Amortville, Troma backwards, Toxie has to fight the bad Kabuki Man, and he actually gets his ass kicked. Good Toxie, actually, the only time in any of his movies, and so on. And then of course, thanks to the fans, we did it.
Well, and with that, Mr. Melvin, so for those who aren't familiar, because Mr. Melvin, did that get released last year?
Yeah, about a year ago. Yeah.
About a year ago. So, because that, if I have my lore correct on this, that was cut off of your original script for the sequel to Toxic Avenger, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Two guys who worked for Troma, Andrew Miller and Adam Pelletier, Adam, the star of Power of Murder, and Andrew Miller, now the producer. They, on their own, rummaged around the basement of the Troma building, because they heard that my Rocky footage was found years earlier, and that's what ended up on Fox's Blu-ray box or whoever put it out. So they were rummaging around and they found the original Mr. Melvin script, and they on their own edited part 2 and part 3 the way it was supposed to be, because originally it was supposed to be called Mr. Melvin, but it was too long for the theaters. They wouldn't accept it because it was slightly, it might make us look a little classy. So the only way we could get in the theaters was to make 2 versions, which actually ended up being very good because we were much in demand on video cassette, and we got the benefit of 2 cassettes out.
There you go.
But Mr. Melvin was put together because Andrew and Adam wanted to see what the movie was to look like if it had not been tampered with by Michael Hers and Lloyd Kaufman, and they did it, and it's terrific. Phoebe Legere her performance totally shines. I mean, it's good in the 2 versions, the 2 of Toxie 2 and Toxie 3, but this really makes her. You really see it. You really see it. And the same with the people playing Toxie. And Rick Collins, who plays the bad guy. I don't want to be a spoiler, but he's unbelievable. And it was a hell of a film to make. And when you see Mr. Melvin with not chopped up, you see Mr. Melvin the way it was intended. It really, the performances are so good, really good.
And that's
it's just long. It's not 84 minutes,
Right. Which, but I feel like that's been a trend over the past 10 years, especially is, the 80 to 90 minute film runtime has gone out the window for a lot of people. And now everybody wants to, make a 2.5, 3 hour movie. Do these movies, like especially the studio tentpoles, do they need to be 2 to 3 hours? Absolutely not. And I feel like a lot of people are stretching story a little too much to make it that way.
A while back, it seemed that, and they were brilliant directors, as I tend to watch movies based on directors, it was the fashion to have these incredibly long shots that would, like Scorsese's, shot in, and it's terrific. And anyway, there was Brian De Palma did an amazing shot, and then somebody else, and it was kind of a style. And I think because handheld became more feasible and clever. And now you look at, I was just in a big movie, and so much, it was huge, and so much of it was done with the camera on a handheld gurney because the camera, these terrific cameras are small. Terrific.
Right. No,
we had a camera the size of your living room, an Arriflex, blimped. It was in a blimp. Eventually, we were able to afford to rent a camera that was self-blimped, but it was still heavy as fuck. And I would do my own handheld camera work because I got good at it. We didn't have the video feed either, and then even when it started to come into style, we couldn't afford to get it. So I still had to shoot with the Arriflex BL 35 millimeter on my shoulder, and not knowing what I'm getting, hoping I'm getting it right. Now with video feed, wow, terrific. By the way, speaking to the budget, one of my modern heroes, Sean Baker, he made a movie for $2,000 back in 2004. You can see it online. It's everywhere. It's called Takeout. It's wonderful. And it's pertinent. It's pertinent today. It's about a Chinese delivery guy who's illegal alien. And, they're living in a hovel with 100 people in one room. And he's delivering noodles and, all the trouble he has. And the restaurant owner is sometimes nice, not always nice. It's terrific. And everything Sean Baker does is great. And
oh my gosh,
he can do what he's doing for no money.
Right. Well, and that's like that. I feel like that's a lot of.
He also happened to have won the Best Picture award last year. So I mean,
Best Picture, Best Director, Best Writer. Didn't he like sweep like 4K and editor because he edited Anora as well.
That's what you call that's what you call an auteur.
Yeah.
That's what my whole bag is the auteur filmmaking. Samuel Fuller, Joseph H. Lewis, Fritz Lang, D.W. Griffith, John Ford, Renoir, Rossellini. Those are the ones that did, and the Three Stooges, of course, very important.
Well, and that's the whole thing about like Sean Baker's work, though, too, is he is at this point, I think, one of the expert filmmakers when it comes to like realistic character studies, right?
Look, this is about me. Never mind Sean Baker.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Fair.
he is a guy who works for us. Met him, and apparently he is indeed a fan of Troma. And John Wilson, you know him, the how-to documentaries on HBO, the little funny documentaries.
Yeah.
Birdwatch, you know that guy?
Yep.
He came to visit a Troma building, and we filmed him doing a little intro.
Troma how-to?
A satire of his satire. He has a theater in New York, and he's going to have a Troma week where he shows, or 2 weeks, and he's going to show a lot of our movies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty soon. So the only reason we're still around is Troma Now. It's the future, but now it's the streaming service. And we've got about 1,000 movies there, all different genres, with stars, without stars, movies we've made, movies like Frankenhooker, which we didn't make, and tons more, which we didn't make, so they're good. And all sorts of weird stuff. There's a movie called The Miranda Murders. Don't watch it. My wife walked out within 30 seconds, the commissioner, and she's seen everything we've done and stayed through the end. And that thing, 30 seconds. Anyway,
30 seconds.
Troma Now, it's very important. It's first month free, and then $4.99 a month if you can afford it. And if you can't afford it, you put in another email, and you get another free month, and you just keep doing that. And you get to see our movies forever.
There you go. And I mean, yeah, Troma.
If you can afford it, we want the $4.99. But if you can't, we want our people to see the movies. You know.
Right. Well, on top of that, because you offer like the monthly at $4.99, but then I think it's like annual for only $50. So you save $10 on that. So
if you take the annual, I think we pay you and a hand job. I give you a hand job.
See, best deal in streaming. You can't beat it.
It's worth $2 at least.
It's worth $2.
It's in Tijuana it was. Oh no, that was a donkey show. Forget it. No, something else.
Something else. So okay. So with Troma, and we were talking about Troma's audience being the support that keeps it going. I feel like that's a business model in and of itself, right? That these new creators have been leveraging lately. I mean, if you look at like the YouTuber Markiplier, who came out with his horror film earlier this year, that he self-financed, produced, and then reached out to his audience and was like, well, if you guys want to see this in theaters, you got to talk to theaters, you know? And that's a page.
Markiplier is a big Troma fan, and I was at a guest at an event in Utah with him. I didn't know he made a movie. That's amazing. Yeah, he's got a huge fan base. Perfect. Fuck them majors. And of course, Obsession, and who are being distributed, I think, by a big company, and the other one,
Backrooms, yeah.
20-year YouTuber, and I don't know that he got any else. Oh no, that's Blumhouse. Again, couldn't be more independent. So the independents may be coming back. Who knows? Retro is back.
Right.
We're getting deals. We're actually getting licensing deals for things like Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD, for which we do have a script, Kabuki Man Returns, but I can't. It's too expensive. I couldn't raise that.
Couldn't happen.
Anybody who wants something that could play with a good star, and I'll move over as director, of course. It's a good project, so it's available.
There you go. So, okay. Wonderful. We just touched on a couple things. So it seems, especially in this moment, that these independent creators who have like leveraged their existing audiences through social media or YouTube, what have you, into, an audience for their film work are having a moment. Is that where you see independent cinema going? Is like doing the groundwork of building an audience first to find that success? Or do you think more traditional, like pound the pavement looking for financing and try and sell it?
I've moderated a few cable TV things. I did one with Sam Arkoff, who founded AIP, and Roger Corman. I wish somebody would find that, because that's historic. Not because I'm in it, but those guys are major. American International Pictures had 1 year where they made 55 movies. And they did good ones. Roger Corman directing, and many of the great stars of today they make Troma look like chicken feed. At any rate, they both said, when I brought up this, how difficult it is, probably 25 years ago, 30 years ago, maybe more, who knows? But the point they made, I whined a lot about, the MPAA censoring us, and the big companies, and the president is conspiring with the media companies, and the FCC is not allowing to divert, and they both said, look, talent will out. And you see James Gunn did it. He did it. You can do it and end up directing. Is he doing Superman? I think he does Superman. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I was joking.
Yeah. Well, you were in it. I figured you knew.
Well, should have had a line, but that's okay. And I'm just joking. I wasn't joking. I do want a line.
Yeah.
The next one, if there is a next one. What about? I don't remember what I was talking about, but it was an excellent response. What was it?
But it was an excellent. No, you were talking about how talent's gonna win out over.
Yeah, talent will out. But if I was coming along, this is only me, as a bit of a bourgeois punk, and I had no money, I would make the $2,000 movie. I would have a day job and try to get something interesting. It might be fun to be a caretaker for a 90-year-old dementia patient. You probably could get a lot of experience from it. Or I don't know, some work in a veterinarian office, or better yet, animal. The animal, save the animal thing or something. Meanwhile, you make a movie with your friends, and maybe you can get your folks to put a few bucks, and then you go to the conventions and festivals, then the conventions, and you keep your day job, but you try to sell a few Blu-rays or whatever the current, maybe you can get on streaming.
Yeah.
You make another one, and you keep going with that. We let fledgling filmmakers use our. We have very small space, but at conventions we let them use our tables or booth. It's okay. In fact, we got people bootlegging our stuff. We permit. Only special. It has to be authorized bootlegging.
Authorized bootlegging.
Kabuki Man hoodie is an official bootleg approved by me personally. Just don't tell Michael Ars. Let's see. So the point is, get your stuff out, do it, learn too. You can learn. I didn't go to, I don't want to use me as an example, but Woody Allen didn't go to film school, put it that way. And I was compared to Woody Allen a couple of times, and we both did movies about blind directors. So see Hollywood Ending. It was a flop. It's a wonderful Woodman movie about a blind director. And I think it's better than Terra Firma, quite frankly.
Okay.
More inventive and funnier. Well, funnier for sure, because he's not different kind of horror. At any rate, I think eventually you could switch from the daytime job. Eventually you start doing less of that and more of you. And there are people out there doing that, just as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And if I own Troma, all of the Troma universe probably has maybe 1 million sort of citizens on the. If you take our YouTube, maybe a little more, and all my social, it's nothing. You've got guys opening up boxes. What's inside? And they got millions of views. Check out the documentary, The Crash. It's terrific, and it's all about these teenagers who have created their own characters, and they spend hours on it, and they have they're airheads, and they have 4 million. They're miserable losers, but they've got these followings, these huge followings, because they're dance mother or Russian, some styles of Russian, and
right.
And they're the ones. Well, what's his name?
Markiplier. Yeah.
Markivision. What?
Markiplier.
Yeah, Markiplier. I mean, he built the thing himself. Wonderful.
100%.
That's the way America should be. But Trump is now trying to smother everything. So it's all about the young Napoleon from Oracle, the billionaire's son, who's taking over Paramount, who doesn't like any diverse voice. He wants to make 60 Minutes into Fox Light. Like this horrible cloud of and the celebrities, other than Stephen King and a few, are afraid to speak out. So,
and I think you're absolutely right, which makes the case even more pronounced for independent voices in this moment, right? And it feels like as we're talking about it, like this might be a new era for independent voices. Obviously, we've seen this year some get really high profile films, or do really well in theaters. And if the studios learn from that, if whatever, maybe they'll reach into their pockets a little bit for independent voices. But even if they don't, I mean, with the administration, with everything, I do think like taking a page from Troma's book and what you just said, make your $2,000 film, snowball affected into the next project, like keep it going. And it's a lot about the hustle, but it's also, through that, it's so easy to learn. You have access to the internet. You can learn to do almost anything on YouTube with the right tutorials, and watching movies, subscribing to Troma Now, and going through the catalog of Troma films to see how you did effects, different storytelling ideas. I think all of that is really helpful to anyone just starting out.
Well, my Instagram, if you scroll down, not the present, you can go back into time. Some of that stuff is educational, and Instagram is at Uncle Lloyd Kaufman, I think. I've been kicked off 3 times. Why, I don't know. But at Uncle Lloyd, at Uncle Lloyd, Instagram. You have to go back into time and time travel.
Time travel. There you go. So listeners, definitely go check out at Uncle Lloyd Kaufman, right?
I think so. Yeah.
On Instagram, and go back for those videos. But Lloyd, thank you so much.
Stuff you'll see sort of compressed, so you don't have to read my books. Everything's kind of squashed together. But we have great making of documentaries: Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, Terra Firma, Citizen Toxie, a whole bunch of our movies have hour and a half. Oh, hashtag Shakespeare's Shitstorm has a great behind the scenes, and it has a mini documentary about filming in Albania, where we were the first narrative movie to come to Albania to film, which is very proud of that.
That's
trained whales. We went. They have these trained whales that are in the film, and we got a boat too, a big boat. It was very good. You can see it, a short documentary. It's very good.
Awesome.
And the long one, too. The long one, which is brown is the warmest color. Is
yeah. I am familiar.
Right,
I've actually.
Sign off.
All right, Lloyd. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time.
I've got to go over to the Manhole Club. I'm singing Cole Porter tonight.
There you go.
I'll talk to you soon.
And thank you for tuning in. You can find out more about what Lloyd and Troma are up to next at at Troma Team on Instagram and at Uncle Lloyd Kaufman on Insta. Troma-Thon 2026 is this weekend, July 17th and 18th at the Mahoning Drive-In in Lane, Pennsylvania, where the Troma Team will be premiering the long-awaited Poultrygeist 2. And July 23rd through 26th, Lloyd and the team will be at San Diego Comic-Con, where they have a panel on Saturday night with author Chuck Tingle, which should be a must-see for anyone attending. After that, they don't stop. Lloyd and the team are going on a short San Diego LA tour from July 27th to August 1st. You can find more details on all of these at Troma.com or by following at Troma Team on Instagram. You can find all that in the show notes. I have to thank former guest Sabrina Mendoza for helping put this interview together. I very much appreciate it. And listeners, if you haven't listened yet, go check out episode 2 of Midnight Horror Picture Show with Sabrina Mendoza. Please make sure to subscribe to Midnight Horror Picture Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. And if you would be so kind as to leave a 5-star review, it's the best way to help build this platform for indie horror creators to be seen. You can find us on Instagram at Midnight Horror Picture Show. Our theme music is by Nick Ferrari. And check out our sister show, Dead Pine Archives, where we dive deep into urban legends, cryptid tales, and local lore. Midnight Horror Picture Show will be back in August with a new episode. Until then, stay spooky and keep supporting indie horror.